Welcome back to the Lumbertron podcast. I'm your host as always, Tyler Woods. Well, time lumbers forth, and so does this podcast. Today, I've got a special treat. My wonderful friend Lovely, this incredible human being, has been through quite an adventure of a lifetime, and she's here to share that rich dirt of the human experience, from trauma to the work of breaking familiar patterns. With the help of community, she's taking aim at the goal of redefining what recovery can be, using art, dance, and play to enrich lives and uplift the hopeless and give those love she sought as a child. Grab your stuffed animals, pull up a pillow, and click your heels together 3 times, because we're going to go on an adventure.
Like, we're talking about my story today.
Right now.
Yeah. And my story is so amazing and scary and dark and beautiful and like powerful and like just there's so much to it too. I've had so many years to like do all sorts of different things in life, and one of my insecurities is my past.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is, because it's tainted. It's tainted with mistakes, and failures and falls and disappointment, hurting myself, self-sabotage, hurting others, not even knowing, victimizing myself, wounding others in the process, and just a lot of different things. And I've come to a place in my life where I am thankful for that, because for one, honestly, if you look at me, you're going to make judgments about who I am. And that's not necessarily, it's not necessarily wrong. It's not necessarily right. It just is.
Yeah.
And I'm 50 years old. And I'm pretty sure I have lots of gray hair. I'm of Caucasian complexion. I look like, I dress fairly, I wouldn't say normal, but I basically fit in fashion, you know what I mean? Like, just, I don't really fit in, but I do. I'm not
your own way in the world.
I have
your own style.
Yeah. So my sharing my story, I want to so bad. That's one of the things I got so excited when you said you had a podcast. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna break it down to a couple of things about my life that I think I want to share with people. One, I believe in recovery.
Yeah.
I also have studied trauma, drug addiction, mental health from both sides of it.
Yeah.
Experiencing and healing, and studying it, through academia, kind of thing. And those are the people that I want to love. That I want to love. I want to show that, we can make it through all different kinds of obstacles in life, and I don't have to be ashamed. Shame is not of love, period, plain and simple. Love never shames. And I love myself today, so I do not need to be ashamed anymore.
Yeah. Is shame something you've carried from your past?
Yes. Yeah. And I've let affect my today. And I literally had this epiphany that was like one day when I was having a PTSD experience where I was like in it. Like, I don't know if you've ever felt something like that when you've had something happen to you in your life that was traumatizing. And for me, it was like victimizing. And not only that, but there's that strong warrior side of me so when I get victimized, I will kill you. I will slit your throat with my fingernail. The warrior in me. So it turns to that. When I go into PTSD experience, I go from victim to I'm going to kill you real quick. So I'm dangerous. I'm scary. When that happens. And my daughter, my offspring, was standing there crying. And she said, "Mama, you are the most beautiful, loving person I've ever seen in my life. Everybody thinks that. You lift people up. You inspire people. You're so beautiful. But when you're upset, you are like a monster. It's scary." And all of a sudden, and my other offspring said, "You are safe. You're safe, Mom. You're safe, Mama. We're here. You're safe. Nothing's going on." And all of a sudden, I saw it. I saw it. I'm letting the monsters and demons of my past make me a monster today by reliving it every moment.
Mm-hmm.
That something scary or, whatever triggers it. And it could be simple things that triggered it. Literally, there could be kids playing in the other room and saying, stop it, don't, stop it.
Taking you back to.
And immediately I'm I'm like flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to be ashamed of that. I want to share that with people because PTSD and anxiety is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's very real. But we are superhuman beings. We are. I love it when I read that in your memoirs too, being a superhuman being, because we don't need to look for superheroes anymore. We can be those beings.
We are.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And I am more powerful than my memory.
Mm-hmm.
Today is more powerful than yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday's over.
It's over.
Can't hurt me.
And it can't have any power over me today. With the choices I make today, this moment, that's all I have. So I have been doing the work for that, healing that and recognizing, being conscientious when I see, hear, smell, feel something, going, what am I feeling right now?
Mm-hmm.
What's actually going on? Am I in danger?
Being present.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been absolutely amazing, fabulous adventure. And I want to share that with people. I just feel like I said earlier, if God gave me one gift, it's to speak. And, I've got a big mouth and a loud one too. Who else would be better?
So let's dive into the past a bit.
Yeah.
Take
okay.
it back.
Let's do it.
What was it like in your childhood?
Oh.
Tough, scary. What are some of the things that showed up for you that made things?
Well, one of the things that I really love to touch on is a healthy relationship with food and relationships with others, and loving self, and I'll start off with this. I was born to a 15-year-old girl in 1971. And that young girl, throughout my life, has been hospitalized several times for split personality, bipolar disorder, and clinical depression. Mm-hmm. She's attempted suicide many, many times. I have a biological father that is a very nice, polite, kind person, but is a runner, is not very present.
Yeah.
And I know that my mom starved me as a baby. I know it, and didn't take care of me. That woman grew up, they divorced, and they both remarried. And both my step parents have been passed on from cancer. Mm-hmm. And I developed great relationships with both of them too. But stepdad was an opiate and alcoholic most of my life, opiate addict and alcoholic most of my life, and abusive as well, physically abusive. They were all like at least verbally abusive. I'm the firstborn of like 9 kids. So when my second, my sibling Taryn was born, I know that I mothered her. Mm-hmm. I know that I did. And I mothered all of them to come. In fact, to the point where my youngest brother calls me mom and basically treats me like his mother, and his daughter treats me like more like a grandmother than an auntie.
Yeah. So you've been like a kind of
a
like
mother,
giving care and being a mother.
Right. And from that point too, I've been thinking about it and doing the work too for many years. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm such a nurturer and care. But I want to take care of you. I want to please you because I didn't get it. I know what it feels like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to feel like that. So I have this, like desperate need to nurture people, make sure you're fed, make sure you're taken care of, your feelings are okay, because I've been doing it all my life because I didn't get it. That's what my child was like. There's a lot of abuse. I have been sexually abused, raped, physically abused, literally punched, by my father, so, and, more. Yeah. And more. I bounced between super people pleaser, high achiever, and the naughtiest of the naughty, the dirtiest of the dirty, and the hardest of the hard. You know, I take pride in being strong and like, just like risky. I don't know why, but I'm a risk taker. I'm like courageous. I'm like, and that includes drugs, alcohol, sex, adventures, you know, like, so in my lifetime, that's what I would like literally like swear it would like bounce back from being perfect, great student, active, like just a star achiever. You know, everybody loves to so fucked up I can't do anything, that I'm losing everything. You know, so that ran into my adult life. Yeah. So
and did your mental story of yourself like change in those moments when you go from like high achievement to being in that place?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, well, it was like I was a facade. I'm not really a good person. I'm not really smart or capable. See, I'm a failure. I'm flawed. I'm inherently broken.
Something is wrong
with me. Plus, I didn't fit in very well. I like and it was a mask, my perfectness and all of that. I mean, I did things that I liked to do when I was doing it. Like in high school, I was on the debate team, you know, I did, but it was part of that mask.
You know, hoping to fit in.
Just hoping to fit it, belong, you know, and to be well received and appreciated and loved and wanted to hang out with. But I was kind of always like on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it, you know? And then as soon as something wouldn't go right,
just tip it.
It would tip the other way.
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
pendulum swing.
Yes, major. I am extreme to extreme.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. Balls to the wall. Extreme to extreme. So that's kind of what my childhood was like. You know, and like I said, I'm the oldest of 9 children. My siblings are aged from 2 years, and then the next one was 8 years, and then the last one I'm 16 years older than him. So I did a lot of mothering. I also attempted suicide a couple times in my young child, you know, like young, you know, life. And was very promiscuous. Well, I go from both. Like I said, I'm extreme. I'm either fucking everybody or nobody, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of childhood. And I mean, I loved a lot of my childhood. You know, honestly, I didn't have it the worst, honestly. It wasn't bad. It just had some bullshit, you know, and I mean, like, I worked so hard, even at a young age. You know, when I, at 12 years old, 15 years old, I was like brutally raped in Tacoma one night, in an abandoned home. And I was actually already going to counseling because I had attempted suicide.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was your support network like at that time?
What
support network? Like, so you had counseling?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
That was pretty much it. I was living in a home where, you know, so at 15, my siblings would have been 13, 7, 5, 3, and 1.
And were you all in the same place?
Yeah, all of those were in the same place. Yeah. And then I had 2 others in another place. But at that point, and I had been going to counseling because I had been bouncing back and forth between my mom's and my dad's house. And at my dad's house, it was very much different. My dad and my stepmom, they're like obsessive compulsive about cleanliness, very organized and like routine schedule. I was supported, you know. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't worse at all. My dad's just quiet, basically, very polite and kind and loving. My mom was verbally abusive, and so my stepmom, but she was a good woman. Yeah, you know, she just would get mad, you know, kind of thing, easily and about little stuff.
Going to your mom's side,
and then literally, like, my mom wouldn't let me go back one time. That's why I was in Tacoma during that time, because she was like, "No, you're staying," because my little brother was getting ready to be born. And
getting ready to be born.
Yeah, so like she needed help. Pretty much, that's what I look at it now. Yeah, she needed help.
She needed your help.
She needed my help because my dad was still an alcoholic. Like every night, alcoholic. Watched TV. That was it. You know, and 6 kids already at home, and 1 almost there,
Yeah.
and then there. So I was going to counseling. So that one night she was in college. I did my counseling tonight. She dropped me off. The place was locked and nobody came right away because it was a night appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked down the street to the store and got. Anyway,
Yeah.
and I didn't tell anybody at first, but the point of me telling you that story is that, so I stayed home from school the next day, and my dad was drunk, and he called me a fucking little slut, and I broke both of my hands punching a concrete wall, because I had just been raped too, so I was feeling this shame and, you know, like just really, and to be called a little slut too on top of it, I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm telling you, I've always been a warrior fighter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not long after that, I'm pretty sure I took a knife to my dad and told him to get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He actually went to treatment at that point. Yeah. So I've been doing the work for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. But the whole time, I'm telling you, like in high school, I studied child psychology. My goals throughout my life has always been to share strength and empower people that have been through similar experiences of me.
Shit. Yeah.
Because I think too, like like in high school, like I would bounce back and forth because I would really do really well with my dad, and then I would go back and I would start caring for everybody, and I do well for a little while and then lose it. Mm-hmm. And usually it was all self-sabotage, you know, at that point.
Recreating what you knew.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah. So, my goal was like I think, gosh, what would I have been like if I had the support, encouragement that I needed, education, resources, you know, to be the person. And then I think, well, gosh, if I did, then I wouldn't be here today with all my experience to share with other people.
It's true.
And that's one of the things I feel like the universe, creator, God, whatever you want to call it, gave me a risk taker personality and a loud voice, you know, and a loving personality and outgoing attitude and like just welcoming, so I can be part of that solution. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
To have all that stuff happen to you and to have the personality to share your experience.
Right. And it's taken a long time. Like I said, you know, I'm 50 this year, and you were there, I think, at my birthday when I said 50 is the new 2. You know, because I'm a little person still. Mm-hmm. I'm learning. And especially now that I feel like a lot of the things that didn't serve me about myself, you know, my insecurities have been burned. They've been pruned, you know, so I can walk more in my authenticity and my power and strength rather than have the worries of the past and the shame and the guilt and, you know, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back to that child and kind of giving them the love.
Yeah, too.
Upbringing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the like my inner child. I swear, my spirit is like I'm a child. Yeah. I like to play. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. You know, let's discover new things. You know, yeah, and experience life with awe and wonder.
That's amazing. So you drew some cards at the beginning.
Yeah.
That talked about like building things. There was like this masculine energy, taking leadership. And how are those things showing up in your life right now? Leadership and building opportunities.
Ooh, I got a spiritual boner.
Oh.
Give it to me. I know, right? It's pretty powerful. Okay, so I got myself excited. You know what? This is funny. I'm going to say this because in my human design, if you look at like my astrology and stuff, the sacral is my one place where I receive everything in truth. That's where I decide if it's true or not, through my sacral. Okay. Yeah. No wonder I'm such a sexy being. It is. Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, I've been studying children, trauma, mental health, drug addiction for a long time, even the side of academia. And one of the things in my life is that I feel like I've been given all of this to be part of the solution of recovery and change in the systems that keep those you know, people down. Because I really believe that the systems that we have in place today are not effective, and the science says it. and they're not helpful, and they're not growing and changing this world. They're in fact continuing to perpetuate the cycles, you know, and I want to stand up and say, no, we're not perpetuating these cycles anymore. This is done. There have been enough generations of people affected by drug and alcohol and trauma and abuse so much that it's got to end. I know that there's enough people out there to end it. I mean, maybe it won't be ended forever because we're human, right? Yeah. But we could take a stand and make a difference, you know, and that's where I feel like that leadership, I feel like I've been studying it to develop, be part of, you know, a long time ago, I used to always think that it was my vision, you know, of having this like center, I'll just call it that right now, okay? A center that specifically deals with stuff like that together. And has different modalities implemented that have been talked about and researched and, you know, and experienced that actually do work. You know, like part of my story is that when shit hit the fan this last time, so it would have been 5 years ago this year, I was heavy into my drug addiction again, based on my life experiences, and I lost my children. And everything again. I've done that several times in my life. Yeah. I've been to treatment several times. I've been an IV drug addict, you know, on all of the stuff that comes with it, basically. And about 5 years ago, I was heavy into my addiction again. I had like, okay. I'm trying to decide if I should go into all of that. But I had some trauma happen again in my life. Anytime I have some trauma in my life, it seems like everything's going perfect, and pretty soon it goes.
Swung the pendulum the other side.
Swung the pendulum the other side. We lived in a nice house, and I mean, beautiful. My friends were like, moving on up, you know, because we had a nice house, nice, the whole thing, you know. Things were going great. I made good money. I was, you know, I got a title and shit, you know. I was being appreciated. I was having successes, you know, and then some shit happened. Some trauma came back in my life. And I immediately went back to sex and drugs. Yeah, immediately. And I tried to hide it for a long time. Yeah. It's kind of ironic because I tried to hide it, but then I was like, I need to do something about it. Part of my growth and studying of these things has come from wanting to live a better life. Yeah. Wanting healing. And literally looking to find if there's places out there that fit me, and feeling like I'm not finding it.
Trying on recovery and not finding it.
Yeah, and like, yeah, exactly. Because I've done the whole gamut. I've been in, you know, I still do the self-help groups, you know, AA, NA type thing, really active, you know, take positions in leadership. I always do, you know, and when that happened, it was really, really sad. Really, that's the first time that's ever happened to me before, like that. And it was really, really, really dark. I can't remember why I just touched on that. It was leading to something, but I'll just let it go at that. Oh no, since then I've been like really doing the healing myself. Like, okay, well, there's not a treatment program out there for me that I feel like the research, you know, what I've looked at, what feels right for me. So I'm going to just implement it myself. So I started doing art. Because I read about the power that art has in lives. And I started doing art with other drug addicts and people affected by trauma and mental health. And as you can see, this is not even all my art.
Yeah. Canvases on walls, all kinds of different things.
Yeah. Glass, wood, all different ceramic, you know. Most of these have been done by people that I know and done in conversation about drugs, alcohol, trauma, recovery, life, CPS, mental health.
The story.
Yeah, the story. Yeah. And the most recent one, you probably can't see it from here. See that green one up there? Right, that goes across those?
It's got some words.
Yeah. Guess what it says?
Something about, Earth, Dead.
I'm so glad you're alive. Yeah. You're a gift to this earth. Bless the day of your birth.
Oh, that is nice. That is
You know, that's the Culture Happy Birthday song.
That's the Happy Birthday song.
It is. Yeah. But I've been working on developing it into a song for every day. Yeah. Just because I feel it so strongly. Like when I heard that song, I was like, oh my gosh, everybody needs to hear this.
Yeah, to be blessed like it's your birthday every single day.
Yeah. But the way that I changed it, I don't know if you saw it on Facebook. It says, a loving, blissful living. Each day is a new birth. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it said, it goes, happy day to me, happy day to you. I'm so glad we're alive. We're a gift to this earth. Loving, blissful living. Each day is a new birth. Nice. So it's no longer the birthday song to me. It's a song to celebrate every day because I feel that today. I am so grateful to be living today and just like have the ability to navigate this world in another way because I was stuck for a long time. Yeah. So art and dance and drum circle and singing and learning to have my voice, and doing all these different types of things that I wasn't getting in treatment or AA and NA for my drug addiction. Yeah. And alcohol, my issues. And I started saying when I would go to meetings, hi, my name is Lovely in recovery. And really, the reality of it is I'm lovely when I am in recovery. I am not. I say this sometimes. I'm like, sometimes if you're not careful, you'll get love, or if you are careful, you'll get lovely. And other times you might get lovely cunt.
different sliding.
Yes, yeah, it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got my lovely and I've got my cunt.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what you're basically you want to bring this to the world. This art, play, dance.
Yes.
Modalities of recovery. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's working. And not only that, the research that I've showed, the evidence-based research that I've read shows that it's fucking true.
Yeah,
it's the truth. Then I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm not a legislator. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a scientist. Why the fuck can I see that this seems like it should be implemented, but all of those people don't? When it literally says the program that they have, the system that they have in place right now is ineffective.
Yeah, you're living it. You're watching it play out right now.
Yeah. Like you're lucky if 10% of addicts get clean and stay clean and have a prosperous, successful life, happy life. And a lot of those even, I would say at least 7% of those are still fucking assholes that haven't ever dealt with their shit. They're just saying, I'm a drug addict, or I'm an alcoholic, and, it's sucked out there and I'll die if I ever go back, but, I'm here today. When that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
That's you're literally saying, yeah, that's still you. But they literally say that. It's still me. That's part of who I am. And I'm like, no, it's not part of who I am. It's part of my escape. It's part of my life experience. It's part of the stuff I like to do. I like to get high.
But it's not your identity.
But it's not my identity. And not only that, there are so many other things. Like happiness is so important to me. Because if you're not happy, then nothing else matters. And happiness doesn't equate, or money, success, title, friends, none of that equates to happiness, because I've had all that too. And what I found is happiness for me is being authentic, playing, making art, dancing, singing, community. And the more and more, I know this is not my vision anymore, because the more and more I immerse myself in communities that fit my spectrum of beliefs, the more and more I'm seeing that there are so many people that have seen this vision. Yeah. And I've been going around going, will you help me make this vision? Will you? Because I can't do it by myself. One, I'm not educated enough. I don't have the resources, but we do. We do. Yeah. Together. We have everything. Together, we could accomplish. We could do anything we wanted to. Yeah. So if we really set our intentions and pulled together and got it together, we could fucking have miracles happen in this community that ultimately, to me, I think would impact the rest of the world and existence. I honestly feel like I am part of that collection of community that is going to make that change, because, and children, our children need to be loved. They need to be taught this. They need to be taught what I know right now from the beginning. And like, for instance, I'm so glad you're alive. Did you know that a newborn, that is one of the most important things that you could say to a baby? I'm so glad you're alive. I'm so glad that you're here. Like, literally, I say that to every baby I come into contact with. Every child I come into contact, most people I come into contact with, I will say, and I don't know if you remember this about me, or me saying something like, I'm so glad you're here. That goes back to my early childhood education and studying child development and psychology. It's one of the most important things you could say to a human being that will give them, that will empower them and be close to their self, and trust that. They're like, I'm here for a purpose. That's what I hear when I hear, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're alive.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Universal need of being seen and acknowledged.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I just got little goosebumpies again.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So that's how it's playing out in my life right now. Like I was telling you, I'm getting ready today to. I was invited to be part of a women's sisterhood council, and I asked. I was like, what's going on? To Natasha, she's such a beautiful being, for inviting me to this, because it feels like I want to be part of a leadership where, feminine is coming in to have some more authority, and voice in what's going on. Because I do believe, like, when I'm talking about this wooey stuff, dance, how that could get you, a healing mythology, or methodology. Yeah. Methodology, right? Would be the word. Yeah. Or art, I think it's probably more of a feminine type. People would look at like that kind of stuff as it's not necessarily, but I also think that women are part of the change. Women need to step up into their power more. It's not that men aren't, I love men, and I want to empower all the men around me too, because they're beautiful. One of my friends, I gave him a cup for his birthday a couple of years ago that said, "Save the males," because I was like, if we don't figure this out, the women or the men themselves are going to it's going to vanish, kind of thing. That's extreme, right? But there's so much, like,
we're all in this together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's so much, like, sometimes I've seen like people literally attack males for, all the stuff that's going on and this and this and that, and they're responsible. I always tease too, like, if I'm out with guys and something happens, it's guys' fault. But reality is it's not. But part of that is it's women's responsibility to not allow men to take control and responsibility for everything. We need to be empowered within ourselves to come forward and be like, this part we're going to take charge of. And empower you men, in general, and going, you're beautiful and powerful just the way you are. This is how you can help us. This is how we can work together. Kind of thing. So I honestly feel like it's part of my plan. It's part of, or the plan for me, and it's part of the one that I've seen. I'm going to say this to that. I'm a very mystical wooey person.
Oh, excellent.
Always have been. Always have been since I was little. I feel like God, creator, universe, has talked to me. I've seen, I've heard, had experiences. And that being said, I've also, it's funny, I was seeing this man for a while, and I kept seeing us getting married. Like, and having all these premonitions of us getting married. And I'll just say this. He married another woman that summer. So what I'm saying is sometimes I put my finger in the soup and my finger wasn't the key ingredient. It wasn't me. It wasn't mine to own. It wasn't I just interpreted it that way. So I'm at a point now where, like, this vision, as long as it gets implemented, that's all that I care about now at this point. Because it's needed. I have been affected by drugs, alcohol, abuse, trauma, mental health, and drug addiction. Oh, I said that.
Yeah. A
lot in my life. And it's been prevalent within my family. And still is prevalent in my family. I have she is 40 years old. No, she's 36 years old. And she has 2 teenagers in Yakima that live with her that are 14 and 16 that are all opiate addicts, and they live on the streets of Yakima. And I feel a sense of responsibility. I mean, now my nephews, not only was my grandparents and their parents and my parents and my siblings, but now I know of 5 generations of trauma, abuse, mental health, homelessness, and hopelessness.
Yeah.
And life doesn't need to be lived like that. You know, and I care about my kids and I care about my family enough. And even when I just see it on the street, like it literally, like I feel it. It hurts me. It hurts me to see my brothers and sisters, you know, hurting when I know that there's an answer and there's a solution and there is a way and I can be part of that.
Yeah. Break
just
the cycle.
Figuring that out. Yeah.
It's like your mission now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it is, totally. I don't know how it's going to be because, like I said, I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah.
You know, but we can.
Together,
you know, together we can.
We can take the steps towards
building
that dream,
whatever, you know.
Whatever it looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could change. You know, it could totally change. And actually, it probably will. You know, and morph into something more beautiful, you know, and powerful than even what I imagined. You know, so
yeah, taking your dream out into the world to community.
Yes, yeah.
Can become more beautiful.
Yes, and the world is beautiful. I totally see it that way. Like I see this vision that I have, honestly, like it's a movie sometimes. Like if I sit there and I talk to you about like the space, like I can.
It just starts to play, and you just watch it build and grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfold and
right, and I honestly want to be part of it, and I want my children to be part of it. As you know, I can't change the past. I can't change the trauma that I've inflicted on my own children. It's so sad because it's like I have this beautiful like concept and belief, and like I even studied this shit early childhood, and I still abused my children. I did. You know, coming to terms with that is hard. You know, but I can't change it. But I can do something today to make today better. You know, to make my impact on them even more powerful than the past. And that's what I'm about today. I want to be more powerful today than all my past has been on anybody that's come in contact with me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in my heart. It really is in my heart. And that's why when I think of the nonprofit or the center or whatever, part of it is AIM. It's kind of funny because my children's initials from oldest to youngest are AIM. And AIM, I think, is such a beautiful, I don't remember the exact quote. I wish I had it out here and thought about it before I came, but like it says something like our parents are like bows and children are like arrows. You just shoot them off into, you know, the world.
Yeah.
And this tattoo right here is a heart on my sleeve. And it's pieces to the puzzle. And this is how you learn love, how you receive love. Your left hand is receiving. And it has a watch and a compass and some banners. And I think it's going to say something like love, aim, let go. Because that's all we can do really much in loving and our children and life kind of thing. It's like all I can do is love people, aim where I want it to go. But the more I practice too, and the more I implement these things, like these newfound, you know, strengths and old strengths, you know, and just like cultivating that with others in community, I feel could be like so powerful. You know, it'd just be like taking archery classes. If I got with an amazing archer, think about it, and like we practice archery together, think what my skills would be by then. And that's kind of how I see the vision too.
Yeah, You're like a Robin Hood of recovery.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Or Peter Pan, something like that.
Peter Pan.
All of them together. I'm a kid, okay? It's ironic, too. I love kid movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to tell you this story, too, because this is beautiful. I have grandchildren now, too. So there will be 6 generations if they are affected in a negative way from these things that my family has experienced. Mm-hmm. And I can't let it happen. I can't let any more pain happen in my family. Like, I just can't. And one day, it was funny because my granddaughter, her name is Riley, Roodly Doodly Doo. They all have a nickname that's, their mom is Punky Doodle Doo. And then Winter is Winter Wonderly Woodly Doo. And their dad, I can't remember what we figured it out to be because we're going to have to practice a little bit more. But it's like Logan Doodle Doodle Doo or something like that. So they're the Doodles. They're the Doodles. Yeah, they're the Doodles. But Riley and I were sitting there, and I did something wrong, basically, like an adult would normally do it a different way than I did it. And she's like, Grammy, you did it wrong. And I was like, ugh. And I'm like, I'm just a little girl. I'm still learning. And she looked at me. And in her little 4-year-old face, I saw this genuine knowing that she knew that I'm still just a little girl. And I'm still learning. And she accepted and appreciated that about me. And I wanted to protect that truth in her and that love in her. You know, I want to protect that in Winter, you know, and ensure that the children to come, you know, will be empowered, will be brought into their strength, you know, and love through their flaws. So that they will be the great humans, superhuman beings that they were born to be from the beginning. Yeah.
That is a perfect note to end on. Oh my gosh. Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing your story, where you've been, your vision, the way that you are empowered to change the world.
Yes, yes.
Empowering and uplifting. Lovely. It's making a brighter tomorrow today. Big thanks to her for sharing, and to you for listening. Any questions or comments can be sent via soupcansonstrings to lumbertronic@gmail.com. Until next time, keep sharing your stories.